Hey, I'm back once again. Well, once again, it's been a while. I don't do much of YouTube now, being honest. I'll upload something now and then, something different, but I'll just point out that this is not something that's going to appear often. So get used to this. It's been a very strong season, I think. Personally, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of differences to people in players, managers, coaches. Just in general, there's been a lot of changes in managerial jobs, managerial issues, players getting new roles, uh, where they finish in the table, especially. So let's just have a quick summary of just what happened, because this is not a season that we're going to get at least for another 10 years. I don't think it's something that should not have happened, but did, and we're all glad it happened. Um, so we'll go through it alphabetically because some of these teams I can't wait to go on about, for good or for bad. There's many options. So we'll start with Arsenal. Right, Arsenal. Second place in the end. Very respectable. You see this improvement? No. Points tally is just as bad or worse even. But they finished second. Place wise, that's good, but until they get the title, Wenger isn't they aren't going to be happy with Wenger. Once Wenger gets the title, Arsenal will be fine. Manager will be happy, everyone will be happy, but I think they still need that quality striker because Giroud and Welbeck, great strikers, cannot deny that. But they don't score enough, and they're not playing enough to really stand out. They got a good goalkeeper, and they definitely solidified at the back. So I don't know they need to work there. Maybe get another midfielder. Since Arteta and Rosicki have both gone. That's two good class midfielders a couple of years ago, so they need to get another midfielder just to back up that area. So, but all right finish. I think Wenger deserves another season. I just they can't get rid of him. They won't be the same without him. Look what happened to Man U. You heard it here. Next up, Aston Villa. Oh, hey, oh Aston Villa. How? How can you mess up so bad? You bought some good players, some decent players that definitely deserved more than, what was it, 17 points? 17. That's not even half a point per game. That's diabolical. Any side that finishes 20th normally just misses out by about 7-8 points, but they finished bottom and they tried to survive and they just couldn't quite. With a quality like Burnley, tried hard, just couldn't quite make it. Aston Villa have bought some quality players, and definitely some players that should definitely perform better. Mika Richards is there, Julian Lescott. Jordan Ayew didn't do too shabby for what was left of the club. I think he was one of the best players in the end. Was him. Probably Ashley Westwood as well, those two. But the sacking of Sherwood I think was a bit dodgy, but there was reasons for it. Brought in Remy Gardy, who is a quality manager, and I think definitely did not deserve more time. There should have been a change there. They should have been fighting for survival once he was in. He had plenty of time, and he did absolutely fuck all. They literally got like more draws and more losses. A couple more wins maybe, but in his time he should have got way more points. So I think that was a right sacking, of course. Now they need a new manager and then the championship. If they could come straight back up, it'd be amazing. But I think we have to be honest here and say they're not coming back up for a while. But we'll see. Well, newly promoted Bournemouth, right? Great season. I think because of how good Leicester were this season, how they dominated, finished top, got all the awards and that. I think has overhauled a lot of clubs, and I think Bournemouth has to be one of them. They were like the Burnley, but slightly weaker this year. They came up. They didn't spend too big at the start. They tried to survive with just pure passion and determination, not quality. And definitely at the start, they proved it. Beating Man U, beating Chelsea, even having a goals against Man City and Arsenal. That is what you call a good team, and they tried to. And I think they should be proud of their season. Whether they could do it again, they're up for relegation again next year, but finishing 14th, I think it was, or 15th. They'll definitely take that because they were one to survive. They survived pretty comfortably. They had a bad run at the end, but I think because they survived, they weren't worried. They just wanted to get away and just start a season fresh. So it's good to see them there. A couple of good signings as well. Maybe could have been slightly better, but next season is a real season to see whether the signings are good or not. Eddie Howe, definitely good manager. I think he'll definitely stay on. If they get relegated, I think he'll stay on, but then has to get straight back up, just as every manager seems to be. So we'll see. Quite a fan of them though, and I hope they do well again next season. Chelsea, well, where shall I go? Quality signings, Pedro. I think that's it. Mourinho, good manager. I still can't deny that. He's a great manager with top quality. What happened in his first spell in Chelsea? Third season he got sacked. What happens this spell at Chelsea? Third season he gets sacked. Yeah, I think it says it all, doesn't it? You sign him on a 2-year contract, you let him go. It's that simple. But I don't know. I don't know what went wrong. They've definitely got the quality players. They definitely deserve to be in the top 4 again. Even with Leicester being there, they should have been up there. They have to be. They're going to make huge losses without Europe. I think that's undeniable. No trophies this season. I mean, Gus Hiddink came in, had a great spell at the start. You know, if they had him in at the start of the season, probably be up in the top 4. Or at least Europe. Knocking West Ham out, but we'll get on to that. But they got him in about January time for the second half of the season, and they definitely did what they should have done at the start. So, but Chelsea could be embarrassed this season. If Leicester didn't win the title, everyone would have been all over Chelsea. I mean, what was it, 10th or something they finished after Mourinho leaving them in a relegation scrap. You just can't do that anymore. It's just not on. Crystal Palace, right. Crystal Palace, a good side, good favourable manager like Alan Pardew. Great man. Did good stuff at Newcastle, then he moved from Newcastle because everyone at Newcastle hated him, so he went to Crystal Palace and Newcastle disappeared. So yeah, but a slight sticky issue with Crystal Palace was that they had a terrible run of form this year. And I think, even though I want Pardew to stay, and I want Pardew to really try and build on what he may have messed up in the middle, he definitely is in trouble if this happens again next season. I think he has to be safer next season. They have to pick up results. Top 10 finish, job safe, no worries. However, this close to relegation, they're in deep trouble. And probably, even though he's a good manager, and he definitely deserves more credit from what he did in Newcastle, he needs to pick up big time. Just like this next club, Everton. Oh, me. Martinez. Oh dear. You could have picked a worse time, could you? 14th, I think it was in the league, or 13th in the league they finished. This is a side that's going to be challenging for Europe. First season in charge, great challenge for Europe. Got him in Europe last season. Got him into Europa League last 16, pretty good. And, quarterfinals maybe, I can't remember. But he got them there, and they did well. This season, no Europe. Shocking. Couldn't even pick a dime. 2-0 up against West Ham, 10 minutes to go. We win 3-2. That says it all. That basically happened half the games. Lukaku and Barkley started running out of goals at the end of the season. And I think the quality at the front was definitely there. And I don't think Martinez can take total blame. I think that's some people missing out. Martinez cannot take total blame. I think the defensive players especially have to take a lot of blame for this. They played shite for at least the second half of the season. And the likes of John Stones linked to Chelsea like 35, 40, 50 million couldn't even tackle a bloody bird at this rate. He was terrible. He is a player that's playing for Europe. He was up at the top quality players. Up there with big money. And he's probably now, because of his performances lately at Everton, he's probably now only worth about 20 max. 20 to 25. He's dropped. And I think, like Pennington coming in, good youth player. All of course will grow, but at a time when you need to pick up results, he is not a player you're looking for. So I think they need to address that. Whoever new manager is, Frank de Boer apparently could be the one. Which would be alright, but I think he needs to address maybe tactics, but at least the defensive issue, because there's a lot of defensive issue there. Leicester, champions. What more can I say? PFA Player of the Year, BPL Player of the Year, Manager of the Year, Team of the Year. They got everything. They stole the highlights from everyone, and they deserve it. They played well, top quality. The signings haven't been the best, apart from Kante. Kante's been number one signing, but the signings haven't always been top notch. Okazaki's come in with a couple of goals when he used to. Rizzoa came in with a couple of goals when Vardy was out, and there was definitely some promise there from some of our signings. And Kramaric away, of course. Nobody comes back and does the same. But will they do it next season? I say top 4, yes. And that means who's going to drop out? Or is it going to stay the same? Personal opinion. So I'm going to mention, when Chelsea's now got Antonio Conte coming in, do you really think they're going to finish that low again? I think they're going up to top 4 again. And if they reach the top 4, who's going to drop out? Who would you want to drop out? Leicester, Arsenal, Man City, or Tottenham? It's tough. But credit to Leicester, good season, and hopefully can do it again. Liverpool, well, luckily the Europa League is finished now, so I'm allowed to go on about this. Terrible mistake by Jurgen Klopp. He risked it in the final couple of weeks of the Premier League. He risked a definite chance of getting in Europa League for a potential place in the Champions League. They finished 8th, which means they cannot finish that means they cannot get Europa League via league placing. So they had to get to the Champions League, and that was their only hope. And they messed up big time. So they've got no Europe next season. It's going to be a bit of a miss, but then they'll come back next year and they'll definitely challenge. They'll definitely make sure they make up for what they did. So they'll get into Europe again, which means West Ham will drop out. But we'll see. There could be a couple of twists next season, I think, as well. Maybe at the top half more than the bottom half, and there'll be a couple of twists up there, position-wise. Who gets Champions League, who gets Europa League. Maybe they have a mix. Man City. And this is to break... No. Man U's figure halfway back. Man City. Right, Man City. Good club. Definitely good players in there now. De Bruyne? Beast. Aguero? Just Aguero. Sterling? Well, whatever on earth happened to that guy? Oh, whatever happened to that guy? Definitely should have done better, especially the other season. Start of the season, he actually did pretty well. Definitely chipped in with assists and goals, made his name known. Second half of the season, still waiting for something to happen. Because that was appalling from Sterling. Personally, though, do I blame him for all? No, I still blame Pellegrini for what he's done defensively. With Kompany, great record, cannot be beaten. Without Kompany, couldn't lose 4 against Liverpool. It's pathetic. It really is. They cannot do a thing in defence, and I think since they got Pep Guardiola coming in, which is a big, big move, and I think because they've got to go through a knockout round first, Guardiola makes sure they can get through that group stage and at least knockouts. And then the same as this year. They got to the semi-final against Real Madrid and could have beaten Real Madrid if they wanted to. On aggregate, it was 1-0. So defensively, pretty solid. On the attack, lost a wee bit, but it was 1-0 or 2-1. Can't remember, but you know what I mean? It was solid. They tried hard, and if they bet them, I think Man City could have called that a really successful season. Even if they finished 4th. They could have called it a successful season, but they finished 4th. I think they're pretty pissed off, so we'll see. As the sun comes out, we reach a halfway point. I don't know where the sun's out, it's Manchester United next. Wrong timing, son. Wrong timing. Because Man U are the worst club. Big money. Big signings. They're not even playing. I think that says it all. Some of them are playing, don't get me wrong. Some of them are playing pretty decent, but when you look at the club as a whole, it's rubbish. Van Gaal, does he stay or does he go? And that's a question everyone has. Does he stay? Does he go? My answer, for the future of the club, go. What Moyes did, Moyes got 7 months at the club. 7 months. Not a lot when you're trying to make a club just as good as they were went under one of the best managers ever. Give him 7 months, give him no time. Then said, right, you're off. Get Van Halen. And his job was like get into the Champions League as quick as possible. 2 seasons in, and the best they've got is Europa League this season. Last year, no Europe. Oh, it's fine. We'll work around it. This year, oh, we got Europa League. However, we need Champions League. We need money. So, I don't think he'll do well. I think he needs to go, and they need to get someone in quick. Mourinho, he only takes 2 seasons before he crashes. So, 2 seasons, get him in there, get into the Champions League first season, second season, win the Champions League. Sorted. Right. Oh, this is where we now go to, like, the lower half. So, it's pretty quick indication. Apart from Newcastle. Moneybags. It was roughly about 80 million was spent on transfers this season. 80 million. Some clubs don't even spend near that. Like I said, Norwich would be immaculate to break 40. You know, West Ham probably reached about 80 as well, maybe just under that, and we finished 7th. They spent 80 million, and they finished 19th. No, 18th even. I think, yeah, it was 18th in the end. But that tells you, this is a club with big money and big fans. They want good play. They not necessarily want wins, but they want to see a team play well. And what they've got now is a relegated side who under Rafa Benitez for like the second last 3 months tops was a good side playing and willing to play. The quality of £80 million was there. Under Steve McLaren though, good players but not well taken off though. And that should definitely be addressed. Whoever manager is in the Championship next season. It's supposed to be Benitez again, but I don't know. I think he's a good manager and definitely could get the best out of Newcastle, but in the Championship, it's different. It works different. And some of the players want to go and come in, and there'll be definite changes. And the final relegated side, Norwich. Oh, so close. Side hoping to survive. One of my favourite managers at the moment, Alex Neil. Came in from Hamilton. Don't know how on earth he ended up from Hamilton to Norwich into the Premier League. That is amazing. I'll give you that enough credit in itself. But he's come into the side. He's tried his hardest, and up top they were just not at it. There was a spell where they hadn't scored like 5 or 6 games in a row. You can't do that in the Premier League. If they maybe scored 1 or 2 goals in those games, they would have been survived, and Sunderland would have been in trouble and down. So, bit of a shame. But if it could come straight back up again, it'd be great. And it could just survive. Just come up and push. That's all they need to do. Basong has been relegated about 5 or 6 times. I saw this on Instagram. There was a picture of Sebastian Basong, and it was like he's been relegated from the Premier League like 5 or 6 times. I'm not sure if it was all. I think it was all under Norwich as well. So it tells you Norwich are that yo-yo club, but at least they stay there financially. They stay there. But yeah, next season hopefully come back up. Stoke City. Oh, they pissed me off after the last game of the season, but otherwise, it's a bit of a trouble to say. Because you got some decent, some interesting signings. Not ones I'd expect for Stoke, but some interesting signings. And they finished 9th again. Respectable, definitely. But the problem is, I think, even though they finished 9th, 3 seasons in a row now they finished 9th, which some clubs would definitely take that. But now they've got him 9th. Now he's spending a bit of money on these players. Now he needs to move on. How is he going to move on is my question. So it's something we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. But Stoke definitely need to improve quickly if they're going to get anywhere, I think, is a definite answer. Because I've done this in the wrong alphabet, so I'll go to the next one technically alphabetically. It's Southampton. So Southampton, another good season. 6th they finished because of Bournemouth lost Man U in the final game, which is due to bomb issues. Won't talk about that. So another good season. And I think they're definitely a club who've got a great manager and definitely deserve good football. Europa League this year again, great to see. Love to see them play in like Moscow or Sevilla at this rate, Villarreal. You know, just all these clubs to see them play there would be amazing. However, the manager's wanted, of course, by Arsenal. Don't think he'll go unless Wenger goes, and if he does want to go, he's left a decent club a decent job of what it's done. I mean, this was a club he got promoted a couple of years ago actually, and now they're up in Europe. Some clubs still wish they could do that. Leicester have shown it. Southampton have shown it in another way. Somebody can't. Someone else do it. And I think Southampton deserve a lot more credit than they're getting, but of course because of Leicester winning, no credit goes to anyone else. But Ronald Koeman would be up for manager of the year. There was still a debate about who was going to get it. It would probably be up. Ronald Koeman would be up there. And next we have Spurs. Oh, Spurs, you wrecked it. You wrecked it. You left it to the last minute before you decided not. You didn't want to finish above Arsenal, didn't you? You just left it. You knew it. So you finished third. For your club, though, still good. And I think Pochettino definitely deserves to stay. What a young club. Brilliant plays all around here. Just a shame at the end they just tailed off drastically. It was like 3 losses in a row. No, it's 2 losses. A draw and 2 losses in the last 3 games, which is not on, really, from a top perspective. But next season, if they can perform like they did, I'm sure they could be up there again. Maybe challenge for a title if Leicester don't play like they did. But let's hope they could be up there somewhere. Because I still quite like them. I think they'll do well. Definitely a young club looking for Europe's best and Britain's best. So, Champions League for them next year would be amazing. Swansea! Oh, no, wait, no, not Swansea. Sunderland! My main man, Sam Allardyce. Never to be relegated as a Premier League manager. One time had a sticky spell at West Ham. What does he do? Win the whole of February and half of March, and he survives. What does he do with Sunderland? Comes in from Dick Advocate, who actually didn't have to. He did well at the end of last season, but this season didn't carry it on. So he brought in Sam Allardyce, and he's done one of the best jobs I think in the Premier League we've ever seen. Apart from Ranieri, of course, but we'll ignore that. Relegation-wise, he's done a great job there. Survival for Sunderland was key again, and I think now even the players are admitting this time it cannot be survival. They have to move on. They have to try and push up to the top half, and they can finish the top half again, like they did a couple of years ago under Martin O'Neill. If they can get back up there, they'll be doing a good job. So let's hope, fingers crossed, they can do that, because I like this man. He's made a couple of good signings. And Lamina Kone, Wabi Kazri, I never heard of before, and he's brilliant. Jermaine Defoe up there at the top, of course, getting missed out for England and scoring 15 goals for Sunderland. If he could keep that form again, they can definitely make top half. So we'll see. But I have high hopes for Sunderland next year. High hopes. Now we move on to Swansea. Swansea's a tough one. Gary Monk. Oh, I'm going to miss the guy. No word of anyone after Gary Monk. He hasn't come back into a job. And now I don't think we're ever going to hear of him for a while, if ever. Last season, had a great season. Swansea finishing 8th. That was a brilliant season for Swansea, and the fans deserved it. What a great time they had. This season they made some more good signings, and I think definitely the best, but they just didn't work this year, which I think was quite disappointing, because it definitely could have worked easily. It's just a shame altogether it didn't work. 1 win in 11, I think it was. It's just not good. So of course they got rid of him and got on Francesca Gundogan, which I thought was a decent move, but was hoping for high stuff. And they did, they finished 11th or 12th. They survived, they did well. And even at the end of the season they played well to make sure they finished up high and got more money. So it was good to see, but I definitely think if they can play like that again next season, they will finish top half again. So it's close, a lot of clubs going to finish top half. You can get this idea. It could go either way. Next up, we go into the W's, the triple W's, the WWW. We got Watford first. Watford, they had a good season. I think for what people say, they had a good season, right? You cannot deny that. Let's just try this. There we go. They had a good season. I don't think it can be denied, but they had a terrible run at the end, and should he have gone? I think he's gone because the club, the board is terrible. The board wanted consistency. And what he's done is he's done well in the first half, made sure they survived literally by the end of the first half. And then, second half, they lost a lot. and then they won a couple to make sure they definitely survived. So it's close, but it would be sad to see him go. But Watford, I think, could go down next season, even under a new manager. They could get Mourinho in. They would still go down. I have no faith in them. I literally don't. Not this season. I have. I've got Igalo and Dini. Brilliant strike force and definitely deserve more credit. And probably worth a lot more money. That's all I have to say for that. West Brom. Probably, I have to say, is looking at all this, my most hated club. My most hated club. I hate West Brom with passion. They are the worst club. They do not deserve to survive. They deserve to go down and crash and burn. But the reason they don't is because of their manager, Tony Pulis. Yeah, sorry about that. Stupid phone calls. Right. So yeah, I just don't like him. Tony Pulis is a good manager, though. I can't deny that. Good spell at Stoke. Kept them up there. Moved to West Brom. Well, no, moved to Crystal Palace. Kept them up. Then went to this stupid club called West Brom. And kept them up. And I don't like him. I don't. Well, I like Tony Pulis, but I don't like half their players. If they were to ever lose Tony Pulis, with the players they have, I think they would go down. Whenever they're on a winning streak, they decide to peter off. Whenever they're on a losing streak, they decide to bulk back up. Why? Where is the consistency? They are an inconsistent club, but they're surviving. Which for them is like the main objective. But under Tony Pulis, you gotta push. And as managers, you gotta push. You gotta try and prove that you're not in the job here to stabilise. You're here to push the club on and prove that they deserve better. And he hasn't. Personally saying, he hasn't. He's just stabilised them. So it's now just stabilising time. They're safe. Now he's got to push on. I think if he doesn't push on soon, he could lose it. And for him to lose it, that's a big blow. Because then another club can take it. He's like Sam Allardyce. He has never been relegated. Would it be good to see him get relegated? No. But I think it'll have to come eventually. Unlike for Wenger, it will never come from Wenger. He's been in the club for 20 years. 21 years now, actually. He definitely will not be relegated anytime soon. So we'll see. And that leaves me to the final club, West Ham. Right, West Ham. Another team which I have to say, very commendable season. 7th place. A bit disappointing the last game against Stoke. We couldn't just finish it off, get the win, confirm Europe, bust. Done. Finished. No, that couldn't happen. We had to lose. We had to make us pay. Wait for the FA Cup decision. Man U win. We get Europe. Crystal Palace win. We don't get Europe. The one time I want Crystal Palace to win, I don't want them to win now. But great signings by Slaven Bilic, new manager. Definitely a good manager in the end. I was a bit wary of him. I thought it'd be a bit like Sam Allardyce, because he's a former defender, and his other coach was also a former defender, so I thought it'd be quite a defensive pairing. But in the end, solid up front. Carroll even came in a wee bit in the end. Sacco-ish, Lanzini, Antonio for the second half. Brilliant signing Antonio is. Sam Byram as well. He's been on the bench a lot, which I've been kind of disappointed at. But he's definitely said he's going to get right back, so he can play Antonio up front like he should be, and we can have a proper defensive right back, because even though Antonio did a good job at, I think it was right back and right mid, whatever, defensively he wasn't the best, so there were extra couple of issues there, but a good season overall. Manager's definitely going to stay. If we can finish like that again in the Olympic Stadium, I think it'll be good. Maybe 6th or 5th though, confirm Europe. But that's all the clubs coming up, And signings wise, well, right back, possibly a keeper. I haven't really thought about this, but maybe a keeper. A keeper hasn't been a big thing for our club. I mean, we've got Darren Randolph, got a good backup because Jaskalainen moved on to Wigan, then he got promoted. Good player, Jaskalainen, can't deny that. he moved on. So we got Dan Randolph, who has been solid actually, apart from the last game against Man U. But otherwise, he's been a solid keeper. He's done fairly well when he's had to step in. Definitely impressed. But I think maybe it's time to move Adrian on. It's up for debate. I'll just quickly go through my predictions next season. Now, we already know Middlesbrough and Burnley be promoted, and the third club we don't know yet is between Hull and Sheffield Wednesday. I'll just assume it's either one at the moment. But I think relegated clubs this year, look at the ones who survived especially. Watford to go down. I'm just going to put West Brom because I know West Brom. That's go down as well. Middlesbrough, I think. Big money spent by the club, but they're not going to do it. So I think that three, which means Burnley and Hull / Sheffield Wednesday will survive. I think Sheffield Wednesday might be the club finishes 17th with them, and Hull maybe 15th or 14th, just up there. But Watford, West Brom, and Middlesbrough, my clubs to go down. I'll say 5th. I'm going to say West Ham for the sake of I want them up there, and I think they could get up there, get quality right back, and maybe just an extra 2 bulkier players. I think we could get there, easy. But top 4 is tough. I'm going to have to stick Arsenal still up there. Not sure where I put Arsenal though. It's tough, you see. Scratch that. I think this is the end of Wenger. Right, Chelsea will be 6th. I'm going to say Chelsea 6th, West Ham 5th. 4th, I think will be Spurs. I think Spurs will still stay in Champions League, but they might drop off one place. However, that's how Harry Redknapp got sacked. Finished 4th. Stupid. So he finished 4th, I think Spurs. 3rd, I think will be Chelsea. I think Chelsea will... No, not Chelsea. Can't say Chelsea. Arsenal. Arsenal finished 3rd again. I think they'll just stay up there. Just keep up there consistent as they always are. I don't think they can improve unless they spend big cash like Aubameyang, as a lot of people want. You know, Hummels, they wish he could have got, but he's got to buy like half the Dortmund players do. You know, there's a couple of players that can still sign, and I think they need to. Otherwise, they're not going to be up there. Second, I have to go with Man City. No, Leicester even. Leicester to come second. I think Leicester will definitely get Champions League again, but as the clubs are progressing, you know, it's going to get tough. Which means I think Man City, personally, are going to win the title. I think under Guardiola, definitely a good club, and I think they'll definitely be up there, as usual. And as you noticed, I've not mentioned Man U. I don't think Man U will make it next season, even under Van Gaal. I don't think they've got it. If they get rid of Van Gaal, possibly replace West Ham. Possibly go to 5th again, maybe 4th, if they're lucky. But under Van Gaal, I think they're going to go down. Not championship down. Whoa, that'd be amazing though. No, I mean they'll go down as in out of Europe again. Because I don't see him as a good manager. Maybe in Holland he was a great manager, did a good job, but this is not Holland. This is a country. This is a club. You know, this is not a place. This is not a country that you play with for 2 weeks every month, every couple of months. This is a club which you have to play for 12 months straight on, and I don't think he's prepared for it. So that's my opinions. This has been a quick video in my amazing room. You love. I mean, I can't spin the camera. Oh, okay. See? Love your room. It's amazing. As you were on top of that you were on that the whole time. So yeah. But that's just a quick video. And just as a reminder, if you've even stayed on this long, which no one does, but if you've stayed on this long, don't expect these often. A couple of times I'll just come up with something, but this is just something to keep it, just so the channel know I'm still alive. So thanks for watching, and what are your predictions? Are they any similar to mine? Are they way off? You know, tell me what you thought about clubs. Who did well, who did bad? I mean, I've given you my basic view, and I mean, I could probably spare on for another half hour in each club if I wanted. But, you know, we'll see. Right, thanks guys, and good luck for the future.